What's going on, YouTube? It is Trev. All right. I wasn't gonna make any videos today or for a while because I've been kind of busy. But I find myself uh, wanting to make maybe a couple right now. I was on Agora reading through some of the proposals, and there are a couple of them I want to go over. I'm going to go over one of them with you in this video, and then I'm going to create a separate video to go over another one. And we're going to chat about it, and I'm going to give you my opinion, my perspective. And as always, leave it up to you in the comment section to let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I missing something? How do you feel about it? All right, so if you could, go ahead and hit the like button for me and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed so that this video gets out over the algorithm to as many people as possible. I appreciate that. All right, let's get started on this. So the one that I want to bring up first is this proposal from Vegas, and there have been a few proposals come through Agora from Vegas. Actually, this one is assigned by Vegas and Raider. Raider, if you're not aware, is one of the Terror Rebels. As a matter of fact, one of the founding members of the Terror Rebels. He was on the very first interview or live chat that I did with the Terror Rebels. It was Raider, Zaradar, and Edward Kim. And as far as I know, these are the founding members of the Terror Rebels. So Terror Rebels have kind of gone different ways, and from what I understood, they didn't really want anything to do with this $4.16 million multi-sig money. But here we have Raider, kind of the de facto leader currently of the Terror Rebels, signing on to a proposal on what to do with this money. Now, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through as fast as I can. And then I'll kind of maybe comment along the way. I'll give you some comments toward the end. So let's just get into this real quick first. All right. So anyway, multi-signature wallet discussion. This is supposed to be a proposal. All right. Anyway, Vegas. Given the recent willingness of the current signers of the multi-sig wallet, who may be willing to transfer what has been described as community assets back to the community for specified purposes, including but not necessarily limited to the Ethereum cross-chain multi-sig wallet. Already, I don't really even understand what that first paragraph was saying. A lot of this, you're going to find as I read through this, this is going to look very much like the fine print on some legal document that nobody reads because without a law degree, you don't understand what the hell it means anyway. But anyway, so if you're not familiar up to now, this multi-sig wallet, this was discovered through a conversation between Alex Forshaw, another former Terror Rebels member, the leader of the Quant team for a period of time, and a conversation he was having with Do Kwon, where Do Kwon revealed to him that this multi-sig, multi-chain wallet, including containing approximately $4.16 million in cross-chain Ethereum, assets that belonged to the Terra Classic community, was there, and described certain ways that the current multi-sig, and there were 6 signers on this wallet, describe ways where they would be willing to release that money to the community. So that's, I guess, basically what this is referring to, but all the wording here is a little confusing to me. All right, going on. Given that distributing a significant amount of finances and therefore the ability to use finances to consolidate influence over the chain and a very specific vision of its future to a very small group of people in a way that can easily bypass governance decisions, that's not what was proposed, or accountability from governance accountability that would be appropriate for fiduciary responsibility, particularly of a sum of money in the millions of a governance-based chain, recognizing that in a general sense that those who hold the majority of usable finances for practical purposes are those who really will determine the direction and outcome of a particular project, organization, or chain, and given that as a governance-based chain, these aspects around vision of the chain and how finances are used to determine the fulfillment of that vision are to be determined by the whole of governance. And I mean, that is one extremely long and repetitive run-on sentence that so far means absolutely nothing to me. I'm sure it means something to somebody. I don't know what you're trying to say here, okay? Given that the documentation outlines community spend proposals as the legitimate way to spend funds in the community pool, and that the community pool is a special fund designated for funding community projects, given that the Terra white paper, I assume he means the Terra Rebels white paper, for this chain states that the Terra Protocol offers strong incentives for users to join the network with an efficient fiscal spending regime managed by a treasury where multiple stimulus programs compete for financing. That is, proposals from community participants will be vetted by the rest of the ecosystem, and given that the community pool spend proposal and discussion method has been the method for vetting and distributing grants in this chain with success, it is proposed. Holy crap. Well, I mean, I think what they're saying is that there's another, the other proposal that came out basically puts some bit of control of this money in the hands of a few, whether they be appointed or elected or, whatever, right? And that those few would have undue control over this money, and be able to dictate the path of different DApps or whatever who actually apply to use some of this money. I think that's what they're suggesting here. However, the proposal that I read, if they're referring to either Ed's proposal or Alex's proposal, do not say that. There were actual restrictions in there for how much money this committee or this, whatever it is, would actually have access to use for various reasons. Anything above a certain amount, which wasn't a high amount at all, was to be put up for proposal. Okay, so this is suggesting something that I think isn't true, in order to justify this proposal that's about to be made. All right, let's go on. That this vote, okay. All right, that this vote be a vote of affirmation of the will of the Terra V1 governance community to ask the multi-signature wallet signers to. Okay, so the signers have already said this is the way they'll release this money. Okay, they've said this is the only way that they're going to release it. Yet this seems to be a proposal to ask them to do maybe something different from what they've already said is the only thing that they will do. I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding it. Let's go on. Hire an independent attorney to conduct a review to determine, to the best of the attorney's ability, that the assets in the wallet are free from liability or claims. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, we're proposing that the current multi-sig wallet signers do this. Hire an attorney to confirm to the community that this money is safe money, right? The cost for the review to come from the assets that are considered free from liability or claims. And if none are, then this vote indicates that the ability of the community to the degree that the community pool has the available assets to vote for payment through a community pool spend proposal. The attorney, as part of this process, will make the review and their legal findings available to those findings to be posted in a publicly accessible place. This is basically, I think, what was said in, I don't remember at this point whether it was Alex's proposal or Ed's proposal. I think it was Ed's, right? So they're suggesting that we, the Terra Classic community, don't pay for this attorney to check this money out. They're suggesting that the current signers do it. And if the current signers refuse to do it or won't do it, then maybe we can take the money, if the money is available, from the community pool, our community pool, to pay to have that done, right? I mean, you know, some people are going to agree with that. Some people are going to have a problem with that, as they already have. All right, you know, who knows? We'll see. All right, so let me read this little. If the assets are considered free from liability or claims, then if the assets are considered free from liability or claims, then to liquidate the assets through either a dark pool, over the counter, or if necessary, on market directly, and then convert them to on-chain assets for the Terra V1 blockchain, version 1 blockchain. Okay. That's us. That's Luna. LUNC, rather. And send the assets to the Terra V1 community pool. Okay. So if they're free and clear, convert them to assets that can be used on our blockchain, send everything to the pool. This is what Vegas, from what I've read, has wanted to do from the beginning. Send everything to the pool, have any spending that's done of this money, anyone who applies to use this money for development of projects on chain or whatever, everything to be voted on by the community. Okay, in theory, I get it, decentralized, right? Okay, have the community vote on everything. The community in total control. That's absolute decentralization, right? Well, if we're being honest about it, a huge amount of this community and people who are invested in LUNC have no clue about this stuff. They don't know what a good app is. They don't know how much money it takes to develop this or develop that. They don't know what it takes on the blockchain to actually get this stuff done. So this voting, right, will be done according to, what their favorite YouTuber said is a good idea, or if, they like Vegas, maybe what Vegas said was a good idea, or if they like Ed, what Ed said is a good idea, or, somebody who's on Twitter holding a Twitter space, what they say is a good idea. The community doesn't have the technical expertise and know-how to make these decisions. We absolutely, and that's me included, we absolutely need professionals that we trust in these different areas to explain to us what's going on, why this needs to be done a certain way, and, educate us, right? So that we can make these kind of votes. If that is a part of it, then, okay, we can move on. All right, that if the current multi-signature wallet signers are not willing to do the above, after further discussion and a new multi-signature wallet or new multi-signature signers for the current wallet is required to transfer the assets, then, okay, and that goes on. And again, this is, as far as I know right now, this is the only way that they said that they would release it, to new multi-sig signers, right? And then there's been the debate. Do we vote on these people? Are they self-appointed? Who does this? Okay, so this is Vegas's proposal, right? 9 of the validators, current validators, that are the greatest voting power shall be selected. I almost stopped reading this right there, okay? Because as if the top validators don't already have enough power, and we know that to get as close as we can to decentralization, we need to spread that voting power out as evenly as possible amongst the validators, right? As if they don't already have enough power. He wants to almost appoint them as being the new multi-sig signers. So that money would go to the top validators that we have right now. Okay. With Vegas Validator being disqualified, so I guess, that's supposed to make us feel like he's being fair about this. For those willing to serve as signers and moving to the next validator, and no one has wanted to really be signers on this because of the legal issues that could come up, right? So I guess maybe they're saying, well, let's check and make sure first from an attorney that this money is safe, and then if it's deemed safe and free from any problems, then let's make the top 9 validators signers so that we can get that money, so that they can get that money. All right. So I'm sorry. With Vegas being disqualified, for those willing to serve as signers and moving to the next validator until 9 validators are in agreement. So in other words, if Vegas is in that top 9, then he's disqualified, and then it moves down, and it keeps moving down until we find 9 of, moving down in voting power, until we find 9 that are willing to say, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll dox myself. Well, let me read the rest of it, right? Or the election of 9 multi-signature wallet signers will commence, okay? Each candidate must include their full legal name, a brief biography of themselves, and their involvement in work accomplishments toward the restoration of the Terra V1 blockchain after the crash, May 22, right? The top 9 candidates meeting the above criteria and the criteria in the following point, with the highest number of yes votes, will be elected to be a signer on the multi-signature wallet, which was my proposal, right? The last signature for this wallet is the community pool wallet. This will be a wallet with veto powers on the multi-sign wallet. For this to happen, a new proposal option have been created. Okay, this is just increasingly complicated. We don't want complicated, right? But this is what we have. So am I to understand this right? That the multi-sig wallet itself would be considered a signer. And it has veto ability. So in other words, I'm assuming that means that the community in itself, through governance proposal, would be the last signer, and we would be able to veto anything any of the other signers agree to. I mean, it's on to a decent idea, I guess, but I'm not even sure if I have that right. Okay. In order to accept responsibility as a signer, that person will sign a legal agreement to do what has been outlined above in obtaining a legal review of assets, and then liquidate and transfer all assets to the community pool. Here again, putting everything in the community pool. It is required under this proposal that legal agreement will be drawn up by the or an independent attorney, will include all provisions from this proposal, and will be held on file with that attorney or legal service, and the attorney or legal service which will make their name or firm name and address publicly known for any legal requests or issues where a copy of the legal agreements are required for legal purposes. This shall be completed by the current multi-signature wallet holders, or if not, then is the first task of the newly elected multi-signature wallet holders, who will be authorized will not be authorized to do any further tasks until this task is done and their names are signed to the legal document, and thereby having accepted the role or not signed, and thereby rejecting any further role or action with the multi-signature wallet or its assets. The independent attorney or legal services will provide a statement that is publicly posted that this process has been completed. The only exception to the outlined responsibilities and tasks above would be, and then it goes on. If that was extremely tedious to you, and if you're ready to click off of this video because it's so freaking boring, I feel you. I feel you. This is, it's mind-numbing, this proposal, okay? You've got to have some sort of legal degree to even figure out whether this makes sense or not, okay? Listen, this goes on and on and on, and I am not going to bore you with the rest of this. If you want to read it, go ahead and read it for yourself, all right? If you feel like you can make heads or tails of it. Here's my thing. Pre-crash, right? Before the crash, we had UST, we had Terra, the Terra network, right? Terra Luna. Luna was, USTC rather, was pegged to the dollar. USTC maintained that peg by either minting or, selling off, right? To maintain that peg, or burning rather, not selling off, minting or burning to maintain that peg. It was a very simple process that even someone like me, who is just learning about this stuff, could understand. At one time, Luna, at the time, went up to $116 each. Right before the crash, it was somewhere around $85, $86, I think, per coin, right? Simple. It was all very, very simple. None of this was in existence. We didn't have to vote on, nobody had to vote on this crazy legal mumbo jumbo, all these different proposals coming out of the woodwork, left and right. If you go right now and read through Agora, the classic, you can scroll and scroll and scroll. I mean, a lot of it is scam stuff, and we need to get rid of that. But you can scroll and scroll and scroll. Everybody in this system has a different idea and a different proposal, okay? We're way, way overcomplicating this thing, and then being told when we ask, hey, do you think this thing will get back to a penny? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that, right? Will it get to 10 cents? Will it get to $1? Oh, yeah, let's not get crazy, right? All this complexity, and we're not even sure if we can get this thing back to a penny? I don't know, man. Somebody needs to clue me in on why any of this makes any sense at all. Why aren't we keeping this extremely, extremely simple? Much simpler than it is. Let's find ways to burn off the supply, which have been proposed, but, everybody was up in arms about, some verbiage that was used or whatever. Totally not looking at the big picture, at how much ultimately was going to be burned, just looking at the fact, that we don't like some things that are in here right now. But why aren't we just concentrating on getting this thing burned off, finding ways to get this burned off, building utilities, right? Some very simple things have been proposed. And for some reason, it's like, it doesn't make sense to people unless it's extremely complex and complicated. Like, if you don't understand it, then it must be good. I don't get it. I really don't get what's going on. Somebody needs to explain it to me. But I'm going to leave this one there, okay? I don't know if I like this or don't like it because I don't understand it. It's way too complicated for your regular, common, everyday community member. Matter of fact, there weren't many comments because I think this was just released, but, this person says, I support. Okay, what do you support? Do you understand it? Or do you support it because Vegas's name is on it? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know who this person is. Faluna says, I really don't understand this. It is really hard to understand. I will read it a few times and maybe it will be clearer. It's a question. You know, I liked it because she's right. Or he's right. I'm not sure who Faluna is. Maybe I'm dumb, but I don't understand anything. All latest Vegas proposals make no sense to me. Maybe it's me. No, username 2030, it's not you. And as a matter of fact, I don't believe for a minute that Vegas wrote this. If I remember correctly, I don't think that English is Vegas's first language, although I'm not suggesting by any means he's not a very intelligent man, but he's not this articulate in English, right? I've heard him talk. I've seen him write. Somebody else wrote this, and Vegas signed his name to it. Maybe, with his input, or whatever. But anyway, I don't understand it either. So I'm with you there, username 2030. Have you considered if TFL are found liable in the potential case? If we mix these funds with the community pool, you could expose the community pool to a court order. Yeah, I mean, valid. Very, very valid. Nothing, I feel like they're trying to confuse you with just ununderstandable proposals and figuring because Raiders' name is on it and Vegas' name is on it, people will just vote for it. I hope that's not what happens. If you don't understand this, you have a duty to vote abstain. Okay? Only if you absolutely understand this should you be voting yes or no with veto. If you don't understand it, you should vote abstain. If this even ever gets to Terror Station to come up for a vote. I saw a YouTube video right before I got on myself that said, hey, we got the proposal now, get ready to vote on it, right? That wasn't about this one. I'm sorry, that was about another one. But I don't know if this stuff is even going to even get anywhere because nobody can understand it, right? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to leave this at this. I'm very frustrated, if you can't tell. I'm frustrated with what's going on within Terra Classic because I'm invested. I invested and thought this was going to be easy, right? This was going to be easy. We knew what needed to be done. Let's just get it done. That's what was happening. And now everything is getting clouded with all these different factions and different ideas. And that guy's idea sucks, and he should be banned from ever proposing anything ever again. And then, they're going back and forth. I'm disgusted, really disgusted by what's happening because my money's on the line. So can we get it together, guys? Keep it simple, right? Simplify things. Stop fighting amongst each other and just put together something that makes sense to everybody. That's my opinion. All right. Talk to y'all later. Ciao.